Hey everybody, my name is Chris and welcome to the Dice Tower. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this Pacman the Board Game by Buffalo Games. This is clearly an homage to Pacman the video game, which I think is a cultural touchstone that most people have an understanding of. And if you know that, you're going to know basically how this game plays because it is a very faithful adaptation. Whether it's good or not, let me tell you afterwards, and first let me show you how it plays. Keep walking. Walking. You're almost off the screen. Come on, you're almost there. Here's the setup for a game of Pacman the Board Game. You'll see that there is Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Clyde sitting here in their normal starting spots, right? And then Pacman over here, which is a cool little figurino on this start space. Pacman will start the game and he will roll the dice, and then you see he's going to move 15 spaces. So each of these pegs is a space, and so you can just move along and eat up the pegs. 1, 2, etc. $15. Okie doke. So now, after Pacman has moved all of the spaces off of the 3 dice that he rolls, the ghosts are going to flip over a card and move that many spaces. You see that, I believe this is Inky over here, who's kind of in the way, will not allow the ghost to leave the ghost holding pen until he moves out of the way. So Pinky and Clyde are going to forego their movement, and then Inky is going to go 5 space, or the red one, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Blinky is going to be able to go 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, strategy, splitting up. So basically one player is the ghosts, or one player is Pacman, and then up to the other 4 players are the ghosts. And then Pacman will go again. Pacman will roll the dice. Hurrah, that's 13 more movement. So Pacman is going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, something like that, right? The way that Pacman will score points is for every single one of these pellets that he has eaten, and then also points for clearing an entire quadrant of the board. If you can get all the pegs from another quadrant, that's another 800 points. And then when it's the ghost's turn, if they reveal a piece of fruit, you'll put a piece of fruit out here into the start space, and then the ghost will draw another card and start moving again. And so you see, Blink is going to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, got Pacman! And you would score points there. And then every player on the table gets a chance to be Pacman. There's a few other, features of the game, right? This was obviously not a great positioning to be in. But if Pacman goes across here, he collects fruit, and the fruit is worth extra points. Every one of these things is worth about 10 points. If Pacman comes over here to the power pellets, you flip this over, and then if Pacman had 13 movement, right, and went 1, 2 spaces and ate this, Pacman would immediately forego the rest of his movement, and instead would now roll 1 die at a time, and this is in his power mode where the ghosts are flashing blue, so he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the blue ghost would turn into the eyeballs, and the ghost player has to use the blue ghost movement now to get the eyeballs back into the pen, and then be able to try to chase Pacman again. Pacman rolls the next die. 1. Uh-oh. Hope we get a big enough roll. 3. 1, 2, 3. And now we've eaten the red ghost as well, and so bam, that's how the game is played. Like I said, you count up score after every player has had a chance to be Pacman, and you will definitely not get tired of that sound. Yes, Pacman, I should eat all of the ghosts? They taste like cherries and strawberries? All of the ghosts? Oh, hey, so welcome back. So anyway, my thoughts on Pacman the board game. First of all, I want to say that I have seen other games do this same type of thing. I think it's called Wacky Wit or something like that. It's a big, expensive wooden board game. And I imagine that Pacman board games that came out in the 80s probably did the exact same thing as this, because it's not that difficult to imagine, right? You pop up all the pegs, you move around, you roll dice and you move around, and then the bad guys flip over cards. Now here's the thing, the game says that this is a 2 to 5 player game, and I cannot fathom playing this in a 5 players where each person controls one ghost and gets to move once per card flip, and you watch Pac-Man move like 13 to 18 spaces or something like that, or sometimes 3. The dice are weird. The movement's strange. It's easy if you don't have a particularly, I don't know, if you know what I mean. It's easy to avoid the ghosts as Pac-Man. And so here's the thing, I played this primarily with my kid, and I've primarily played it at 2-player because I cannot imagine playing it at the 5-player count. I will not play this higher than that, probably. I might have played it with 3 one time, with the whole family. But anyway, point being, you can avoid the ghosts, or you have a bad die roll and you can't avoid the ghosts. And that's kind of what this game boils down to. Now, is it fun? My child had a lot of fun with it. This is one of her favorite games that we've been playing recently, and she requests it by name often. And I hate it. I'm so tired of playing Pacman the Board. I shouldn't say that I hate it, but I'm Pac-Man every time, and she wants to play the ghosts because it's funny to catch Dad, right? So I definitely play suboptimally. Oh, I only rolled 7 spaces. I can't get away from all the ghosts. I totally could. I absolutely could. I just wanted you to end the game. Daughter, if you're watching this in the future, I'm sorry that your childhood was a sham. But I gotta say, it's cute. It delivers on what you see on the cover here, right? A Pac-Man board game. It really does deliver that. So if you want that, fantastic, right? This is really cool. I'm also bothered that you have to keep punching up the pegs every time on all the boards, right? But that's the way that it's got to go. Other thoughts on it? Man, I just didn't really love it. I really didn't. Also, there's some ambiguity with some of the rules, like what counts as spaces. Where the red, where Inky starts out on the board, is that a space or is that not? And I think that's not, but it's not precise enough. And also the start space where Pac-Man starts, where fruit gets added onto. Is that a space? Is it not? There's just little questions like that the rulebook left me unsatisfied with, and then I ultimately decided I'm not taking this game seriously enough to worry about it, so I just kind of made up my own answers, and maybe I'm playing wrong, and I'm not too sure, and I don't think it would change one whit what I think about the game. Overall rating, 5.5, because it's a game, it's a kids rating as well, right? This is, for grown-ups, you can make your own choice. But for kids, I would say that, yeah, kids are going to have fun with it, but I think as the parent, as the adult in the situation, you're not going to have that much fun. And I certainly would not play it, multiple rounds around. Okay, you get to take your turn being Pac-Man now. It's just a game of tag, right? Once the ghost has tagged someone, oh, game over, let's pack it up. But I will say, if you can find this cheap somewhere, this has fantastic displayability. I think that everything about it looks good, and if you just want some knickknacks and stuff to show off, the ghosts look great, the Pac-Man with the Waka Wakas and stuff is super cool, so I think they did a great production job, but I'm not a fan of the game, so I don't need to hammer that point down anymore. My name is Chris Yee from the Dice Tower. Thank you for coming by, and have yourselves a fantastic day.